Coco News.
Political arguments in American workplaces are becoming more common this election year. More than 25% of HR professionals say they're seeing more tension, hostility, and yes, even arguments among employees during this presidential election than they did during previous elections. Joining us on the Coco News Live Line, workplace and employment expert Michael Ray Newman. And Michael, why in the world would anyone think it's a good idea to talk politics at work?
I don't know. That standard's been around forever, right? Politics and religion, don't talk about it.
Well, no, not at work. You have to spend a lot of time with these people.
That's a fact, and we have to remember that when the dust settles, we're still going to have to go to work together and all get along. It really is discouraged. There's been 70% of the workplace. You've probably seen the same thing that I have as far as the employers discourage it. 70% of employees discourage it, but there's still a lot of people, especially this election with these polarizing candidates and with news and information at our fingertips now because of technology. Those two things have played a big factor.
Now, can your boss actually expressly forbid talking about religion or politics or any of those thornier issues at work?
That's a really good question, LaDonna. No, they can't stop you from talking about your particular candidate's views on labor and wages and health care, things like that. But they can tell you you cannot talk about other things, and it really varies state to state, so it's really important to be educated about it.
Now, what about bumper stickers and in the parking lot and in the cubicle?
Yeah, well, your Hillary and Trump banners hanging on your cubicle.
Yeah,
and your T-shirts that you're wearing. We're finding that there's been some really. It's a gray area was what we've just recently found, and they can go by the dress code if you decide to wear your Trump T-shirt, and if it's against dress code, they can enforce it. But it's really an HR thing, and it's business to business and state to state.
Now let's talk about potential liability, because if you get into an argument with a coworker, can they then decide, oh, that's workplace harassment or that's bullying, and can they report you to HR? I mean, it seems like there's no win here from the boss's perspective.
There's not a win from the boss's perspective. It's important as an owner, as a business manager, to get ahead of it, to talk about it ahead of time, because what's happening is when they go straight to HR with it's bullying or harassment, well, that turns it into a whole different issue when it's just really a stubborn, coworker that is passionate about his views. He needs to remember, we all need to remember that you're probably not going to change someone's opinion in 20 minutes at the water cooler.
Well, no, and you're probably, just going to make an enemy out of somebody who's probably better as an ally at work. I mean,
that's exactly right.
I've seen friendships just on Facebook fracture over politics.
I know, it's really, and what we're finding is the most emotional ones, the most that are tied to like religion, like abortion and same-sex marriage, try to stay away from those, keep it light, and just try to, if it gets really heated, maybe even disrupt the conversation and change the subject by asking about who's going to win the Super Bowl this year and kind of walking away and laughing it off.
So is that what you should really, if somebody starts talking politics to you at work, should you just go, hey, you know what, that's awesome that you are so passionate, but I really have to go to my cubicle and count pencils.
That's right. That's all. Yeah, I think you good luck with that and just keep on walking. And what I like to do is what my granny always told me, son, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so you can listen twice as much as you talk. That's probably what we should do.
All right. So now let's say as a boss, you see that things are starting to go south. How should you deal with the two people involved, assuming it's only two?
Well, I would, first of all, like we talked about earlier, get ahead of it, have these conversations, let everybody know we're coming into this season, try to stop, and turn the TV from CNN or Fox to, SportsCenter or Discovery Channel, and let people know that it's going to not work out well for either party that comes to you with these kind of problems. So stay away from the issues.
All right. Taking a look at the HR and politics in HR at the workplace. That's Michael Ray Newman, an employment expert here on News Radio 600 Kogo. Thanks so much for your time.